tonight's very special guests, the odd couple, Tony Randall and Jack Klugman.
Thank you. Well, tonight, we're honoring Jack Klugman and Tony Randall, the stars of The Odd Couple. Even though these two have personality differences, they're inseparable. Wherever Tony goes, Jack goes, even if he doesn't have to go. They both have different interests. Tony is the cultural one, and Jack is the notorious gambler. The other evening, Tony coaxed Jack into going with him to the ballet, Swan Lake. And Jack bet $2 on one of the ferries to place. Tony is the neatest guy in the world. They say he presses his pants 3 times a day. Last week, he took his wife dancing. The crease in his pants were so sharp, he shaved her legs. Tony and Jack. There's a lot of your friends here and admirers who couldn't be here tonight, but they've sent some telegrams, and I'd like to read some of them to you now. The first one, Dear Jack and Tony, congratulations and best wishes from one odd couple to another, signed Raquel Welch. Here's another one for Tony from Howard Cosell. Dear Tony, next time you come to my house, try and remember it's okay with me if you want to sweep the dirt under my rug, but not while I'm wearing it. And now the star of Mannix, Mike Connors. What a guy. Every day he faces threats on his life, knives, guns, but enough about his home life. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mike Connors.
Thank you, Dean. Oh, boy. You know, 2 years ago, both Tony and Jack were individually nominated for a television Emmy. Of course, as you know... Of course, as you know, Jack Klugman won. Now, you might think that this would have caused some subconscious hostility within Tony, but Tony's not like that, really. I was at the Emmy Awards that night when it was announced that Jack had won it. I'll always remember the picture of Tony jumping up out of his seat, running over to Jack, throwing his arms around him, and kneeing him. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Right now, it's my pleasure to introduce the best friend a songwriter ever had, one of the finest country western singers I've known. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Loretta Lynn.
Friends, I'm here tonight for just one reason. You see, I've known Jack from way back when he was my first steady boyfriend. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
You folks may not think so now, but let me tell you, when Jack come a-courtin', he looked prettier than a torn, hefty bag. First night Jack come courting me, he drove out to our farm, and the first thing he done was run over my daddy's prize pig. Jack said, "Oh, Mr. Lynn, don't worry about it." He said, "I'll replace the pig for you." My daddy says, "Jack, there ain't no way. You're too ugly."
You don't know? She's lovely. Soupy Sales is a real funny guy. Whenever Soupy is on a show, my family and I gather around a TV set, and when Soupy's finished, we turn it on. Mr. Soupy Soul.
Well, I tell you, we got all these stars here. I'm the only one here tonight I've never heard of. But this is really nice being here. I'm going to remember this evening till about 11:15. But the thing is, so they asked me to come here tonight, to honor Tony and Jack, and I had a choice. And it was either coming here or going to a Tupperware party at Jackie Onassis's, or an orgy at Lawrence Welk's, or a Ku Klux Klan meeting in Watts. So, and Dean told me that later on in the roast, they were going to have a nude girl pop out of a 6-foot cake and say, "Congratulations, Jack and Tony." But when they took the cake out of the oven, she didn't look too good at all. But we're here tonight to pay tribute to two wonderful guys. And they're sitting right here. A lot of people say that Jack Klugman has a dull personality, but I say that's not true. He doesn't have any personality at all. And next, I'd like to talk about Tony Randall. Now, this lovely human being right here has never changed. Even as a youngster, he was what he is today, a dirty old man. That's But he really looks good. Now, doesn't he look good? Doesn't he look good? Here's a man that is 62 years old, but has the body of a 20-year-old, waiting for him in his dressing room. Tony, Jack, all the people on the dais really love you guys. And to show you our appreciation, we wanted to give you a gold watch. But the claw wouldn't drop in the right place, so we got you 2 balloons and a double bubble gum for everybody. Thank you.
Anybody who knows Jack Klugman knows he loves to bet on the horses, and all he does is lose. In fact, he's the biggest loser since Mickey Rooney paid $10 to see Last Tango in Paris and ended up sitting behind Will Chamberlain. Anyway, out of respect for Jack's love of horse racing, we have with us the #1 jockey in America today, Lafitte Pink Eye Jr.
Please excuse me, I just came from work. First, Mr. Martin, I want to tell you how much I look up to you. Of course, I look up to everybody. When they asked me here tonight to honor these 2 well-known gentlemen, I had a problem. I didn't know which is Klugman and which is Randall. You see, when you race around the track behind a bunch of horses all day long, it's hard to tell one actor from another. I've heard that Klugman is a sloppy one. So I think that must be Klugman. Because whenever he comes into the stable, the horses open the windows. And the other guy, Randall, I'm not too crazy about him either. Ever since he got drunk, tried to have me bronze and put me on the front lawn. Mr. Klugman, I know you love to bet on horses, but do me a favor. Don't bet on the horses I ride, or I'll never have another winner. All I can say is, if Jack Klugman was a horse, he'd be scratched.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Leonard Barr.
Thank you very much, Dean. Nice to be here honoring two great guys. Tony Randall and Jack Klugman. I know Tony from 20 years back. I never forget a suit. Jack, hey, you look better since your face cleared up. You guys are great. I watch your show every morning. Tony's a leading man. You realize he can get any girl he pleases? So far, he hasn't pleased anybody. But he's doing great. After all these years, he finally got his footprint in front of Grauman's Chinese Theater. He was sitting on a curb and a bus ran over his feet. And Jack, you're doing okay, too. He's all right. They just made a movie of his life, A Naked and the Dead. He played both parts. He got a lovely wife, two beautiful children. The kids call him Daddy, and he believes it. Jack was a little... Tony, he's a little embarrassed today. He walked into a department and says, "What do you have in a man's suit for a body like mine?" She said, "My deepest sympathy." Thank you very much.
Now, here's a funny little guy you see on MASH every week. You know him as Radar, but his real name is Gary Burghoff. And I tell you, he really is short. You know that chuck wagon commercial? You know the chuck wagon commercial where the little cover wagon and four tiny horses run through a living room? Well, Gary is the driver. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gary Burghoff.
We're supposed to be roasting you. Thank you very much, Dean. I've been asked to discuss the tremendous theatrical accomplishments of our two men of the week. I'd first like to examine the career of Tony Randall. Now, when I first met Tony Randall, I thought, as all of you do, that he was just another crummy actor. And you can imagine my surprise when I soon learned that he was much more than that. Tony Randall is one of the most versatile guys around. He's crummy at a whole lot of things. You see, Tony Randall is what you call a Renaissance man. He's very much like Leonardo da Vinci. Da Vinci's a little older, but not much deader. And like the great Leonardo da Vinci, Tony is an avid astronomer. A lot of people don't know that. He really is an astronomer. Many's the night he's climbed the Hollywood Hills to examine the stars. They already got it. Flip the card. Now, among intellectuals, he's envied for his mind. Would you believe that he once won a battle of wits with Mark Spitz? Let's examine the cultural accomplishments of Jack Klugman. Thank you and good night.
Tonight, special surprise, we have flown in Tony's vocal coach straight from the Metropolitan Opera, where she's a mezzo-soprano, in fact, one of the mezziest. Ladies and gentlemen, Madam Aida Granatelli. Comedian with the rapid-fire delivery. He never stops for laughs because he never gets any. But there's a rumor going around that Jack's going to star in his own variety show, and Jack's the one who started the rumor. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jack Carter.
Whoever saw a dais where the biggest name is Leonard Barr? But that's Dino's uncle. It's my sister, boy, Leonard Barr. Passed away an hour ago. That's it. He's so thrilled to be out of the home for a whole night. How to get your uncle, huh, Dean? Could have got my mother. She's funnier, and besides, she brings cookies. Leonard loves it out of the home. He's got a guy in the next room. You know, one of those old guys with the hack all night long. Hey, buddy, you got a cigarette? And it's good to see my buddy Soupy Sales flew in from New York with his Planet of the Apes hairdo. What is that, Soupy? An Afro-Hebrew? What is that? I love Soupy and What's My Line, which incidentally is the story of his career. I don't know what he does. He does everything. He's even mixed up with a pharmaceutical company now. They just developed a new birth control pill for men. Did you hear that, Dean? A birth control pill for men. That's right, fellas. You take it for 28 straight days. It doesn't affect you sexually, but it blurs your vision. You can't find it. You know what I mean? It's not easy to follow a jockey that's a big hit, right? Lafitte, pink guy, stand up. Oh, you are standing up. It's tough for him to win a race. He jumps on a horse and he goes, and the horse says, what the hell are you talking about, baby? But now back to our guests of honor, Gene Hackman and Roddy McDowell. Look how they're waiting for me to pick on them. I wouldn't pick on them. I love them. Look at Tony, suave, sophisticated, debonair. You ever notice he always looks like he's smelling something, you know? And Klugman looks like what he's smelling. What a slide. Tony and his wife, Tony's wife, they have the most beautiful home. He has antiques. Leave me alone, I'm hot, I'm rolling. He has antiques. How come I can never get on your regular show? He has antiques. He He has antiques, he has bric-a-brac, he has furniture. I was at his house. I went to sit down on the couch. He put a coaster under me. But speaking of odd couples, there have been a lot of odd couples. These two are not the first. You want another odd couple? How about Jackie Kennedy and Aristotle Onassis, huh? Boy, there's a Greek that won the Irish sweepstakes, right? Yes, but they have quite a life, Jackie and Ari. And the other day, Rose Kennedy called her for old time's sake, all the way to Athens. She said, "Hi, hello, Jackie, this is Mother Rose in Boston. How are you getting along?" She said, "Oh, Mother Rose, I'm in bed with arthritis." She said, "My goodness, what happened to the other Greek?"
Now it's time to welcome the two guys. Okay. It's time to welcome two guys who are known to America as the odd couple. Ladies and gentlemen, our men of the week, Tony Randall and Jack Klugman.
Thank you so very, very much.
All right.
No, but we have had a wonderful time. I've enjoyed it, haven't you?
No.
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 Oh, be a sport.
Come on, what I would like to say, you'd have to put on asbestos cue cards. I'm really burned up at all.
No. These people were nice enough to invite us here to be roasted.
You know what, Tony? We're working too hard. I thought you said they were going to toast us.
No. They said some very, very funny things about you.
How about the funny things they said about you?
Bunch of jealous actors. Doesn't bother me.
Listen, Tony, I didn't come here to be insulted by a jockey I never won a bet on. Never won a bet on him. No.
Which one is the jockey, the fat fellow or the washed-up ball player?
I washed up book. No, you're thinking of Chuck Connors. That's Mike Connors.
How can you tell them apart? All these wonderful people who honored us tonight. Ruth Buzzy.
Phew, that was something, wasn't it?
Don't underestimate this girl's talent without. She's the one who made Laugh-In what it is.
Yeah, canceled.
Does it not titillate your ego that Barry Burghoff came here tonight?
Who?
Whatever his name is. Who knows? 2 years ago, before MASH, he was just a poor unknown.
Now he's a rich one.
Yeah.
Look at him. He looks like a Frank Gorshin imitation. Look at him, right? Yeah.
That giant among comedians?
Who?
Among living comedians, Leonard Barr?
Oh, now you go too far. Now, come on, Tony. You know the only reason he's here tonight is because he's Dean's uncle.
No, don't put a man down like that. He'd have gone just as far in show business if he'd been Frank Sinatra's uncle. Jack Carter.
Oh, a man in whose honor 50 trees were uprooted in Israel. Now, you said I couldn't say any drunk jokes about it, right?
No,
So
it's
I
in
laid
bad
off.
taste. You lay off that stuff. It's ungentlemanly, it's unsporting. It's not fair to make fun of an unfortunate individual who is the victim of an affliction, the demon rum. Excessive libation is a serious problem.
I'm sure Dean will drink to that, huh?
Jack and I can't thank you enough, seriously, for this splendiferous tribute you've paid us this evening. It's an old maxim in show business. It's a truism, and never truer than here tonight. The bigger they are, the nicer they are.
Good
night, Shorty.
Well, that's our show for tonight, and I want to thank all my wonderful guests for being here tonight. I especially want to thank those wonderful sports, the odd couple, Bob Haldeman and John Ehrlichman. I'm on my way home, Catherine. Warm up the hot chocolate.